Are you wanting to lose weight and wondering if you should do cardio or strength training? Maybe you've heard conflicting information about which exercise is the best, and you're wondering what to do. Maybe you feel stuck. Well, today I'm going to break down the difference between cardio and strength training and which one might be better for weight loss. And also, I'm going to give that health perspective too. And I encourage you that if you need a little help when it comes to strength training is to check out my personal training. I lay out a complete plan for you for the whole week with little video clips from me showing you how to do each exercise correctly and laying out a custom workout plan just for you. I do this all through my app. You'll be able to check in with me, message me. We'll be able to set up habits for you. And we'll be very strategic in setting up this exercise program for you, giving that extra support and accountability that you need. And this is very affordable, much more affordable than doing in-person personal training a few times a week. So make sure you guys check out the link down below. And I also have discounts for teachers, frontline workers, and military spouses. You guys get 20% off. So just message me to get that discount. Hi friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michelle, mama 4 and military wife, and I'm passionate about helping women get healthy from the inside out so they can feel better and live their best life. Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight and get in shape? If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably, then you're in the right place. I combine my expertise from my doctorate in physical therapy to my experience as a health coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher to bring you actionable steps for a healthy lifestyle. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. All right, so let's dive into the topic today. So first, let's talk about cardio. So specifically when we're talking about a weight loss perspective is when we're doing cardio, we burn a lot of calories at once. And that's why so many of us that think it's good, we sort of eat whatever, we burn this amount of calories, it evens out, or we go into a deficit. But the problem with cardio, especially when we haven't been doing any cardio and we do a big bump, and that may be 20 minutes, that may be 30, or people will work up to an hour, is that when we burn a lot of calories at once, we have this cascade of hormones that happens in our body, and that bumps up our hungers. It might bump up our cravings. It might increase some stress hormones in our body. And so what happens when we're hungry and we have more cravings, we eat more. So that's sometimes where doing more cardio or just focusing on cardio may not always work for weight loss. For example, I was talking to someone who is going to Orange Theory, where you're burning a lot of calories, you're doing some pretty intense workout, and they were always so hungry afterwards. And of course they would eat because their body just burned a lot of calories and they needed it, but it didn't help them to really lose weight. Did they get a good cardiovascular workout? Yes. So the difference with strength training, so when you do a strength training session, you are making those muscles burn. You can do it body weight. You can do it with weights, with bands. And what happens is you're not going to burn as much calories during that exercise session with strength training. So you're going to burn less calories, but what happens with strength training is you are building your muscle mass, your muscles breaking down, rebuilding, and you get more of a longer, slower burn of calories. So our hormones tend to like this better, and we don't tend to get as much hunger and cravings after when we're doing strength training. So this becomes a big benefit, especially when we're talking about weight loss from a metabolism point of view. And this is also why I tend to favor strength training more and place it at a higher priority than doing cardio. So the other type of exercise I want to talk about real quick is HIIT. And so this has two I's in there, high intensity interval training. So this can have some cardio in there, and it's less likely to increase your hunger if you're doing it correctly. So HIIT means interval. So that means you're doing a short burst of pretty intense exercise up to your max, and then it's followed by a period of a good amount of rest. So out on YouTube, there's a lot of HIIT videos because I try to do some every once in a while, and they're not HIIT. They're just like cardio workouts. So when you do HIIT, you want a short burst of intense exercise followed by a rest where your body recovers. And I like to keep the whole session pretty short, 15 minutes or less. And when you do it this way, you can get that benefit of working the cardiovascular system, but you're not going to stress your metabolism and tend to get as much of those hungers and cravings that you would have with a longer, moderate cardio session. So for myself, I like to do a mix of strength training and yoga for strength training to really continue to work on keeping and building and maintaining my muscle mass. So I also have a freebie. I'll share the link down below. It's a 5-day exercise program. It alternates between strength training and yoga. It's set more towards that beginner person. So I encourage you, if you guys need a little help getting started with some strength training, check out that down below. It's free. You can do the 5 days. You can then repeat it for a couple weeks. And then it's always great to add some variety into your exercises and what you're doing. And so real quick, I just want to share what counts as strength training. So you heard me mention you could do body weight, you could do weights, you could do bands. So strength training is when you feel those muscles burning. So that means that the muscle is breaking down and it's going to repair, rebuild, and get stronger. So for example, when I am doing yoga and I'm in some type of warrior pose and I'm holding it, maybe I'm sinking down a little bit deeper, my legs are burning. Sometimes they're shaking. The same thing. Imagine if you're holding plank body weight exercise and you start getting that shaking, those muscles are burning. That is where we're getting that strength training effect. And so there's different types of strength training. You can have more where sometimes in yoga, we might be holding poses longer. We also want to make sure that we are doing strength training where we're getting about 18 to 15 reps of an exercise. That really helps to build our muscles too. So that's why I use a variety of things with my clients. And depending on their goal, where they're at, and also what they enjoy doing, because we want to make sure when we're exercising that we are starting to enjoy it. So I encourage you, if you're a person who doesn't like to exercise, what can you start with that you enjoy and then start applying some of these principles like building muscle mass and things that are really important. So I also did an episode on the podcast. It's number 80. I shared that in the description down below too, but I shared the results from one of my clients and this role that muscle mass plays in body composition and how when she was doing her strength training, she was able to increase her muscle mass and decrease her fat mass. So that also makes our bodies smaller because muscle is smaller than fat. So you could weigh the same amount, but when you change that composition to more muscle and less fat, you're going to be smaller because muscle takes up less space, even though a pound of muscle and a pound of fat are the same thing, that muscle is a lot smaller. And this is what we want to really key into as we're getting older. We want to put on this muscle mass. We want to be strong. Imagine yourself 20 years from now. What is your body looking like? What can you do with your body? And if you want to be strong and you want to be healthy, you have to be working your muscles. We want to be functional and not only carry our grocery and go up the stairs, play with our grandchildren. We want to have this strength in our body, and we have to train in order to get that strength. A lot of us, our life is just way more sedentary than what it used to be. So we have to take this time to exercise and train our body so that we can live healthy and so that we can live good and do all the things that we're created to do. So I also just want to add in here real quick that movement is super important, and I consider movement different than cardio training. So movement is when we're just walking around our house, getting our steps in, walking into the grocery store, maybe around our workplace, or we go out for an intentional walk. Our bodies were created to move. God created us with these muscles so that we can move our bodies. And it's just the way our society is that we are so much more sedentary. So we have to carve out this time to move our body, get up and walk, have time to exercise. So we really want to combine this concept of strength training, but also making sure that we are moving our body, that we're getting enough steps in, that we're going out for intentional walks. Because these keys together is what really helps our metabolism and helps to put our body in a place of weight loss if we need to lose it, or maintenance. and really just being healthy. When we start moving our body more, there's a different cascade of hormones in our body that put us healthy. I've even heard there are some studies that talk about that getting outside, going for a walk it's either the same or better than antidepressant. So it's super important that you guys are taking care of your bodies, that you are moving them, that you're working on building your muscle mass and really taking care of your body. I also wanted to share this quick article that I pulled up, and it talks about, is strength training more effective than aerobic exercise for improving blood sugar control in people who have type 2 diabetes? And this was a randomized control study. And what they found is that the people with type 2 diabetes who did strength training exercises showed better results of their blood sugar control over a long period of time. So they measured A1C levels. So that's your blood sugar levels over like a 3-month period, what that average is. So that people who did strength training had better results than the people just doing aerobic exercise. And they also concluded in this study that when people gained more muscles, and that's what we're doing in strength training, in comparison to people who were just losing some fat mass, that independently predicted that reduction in their A1C levels, that blood sugar levels over 3 months. So when we do this strength training and we're building muscle mass and losing fat, this was having an impact on people with type 2 diabetes. So this just goes beyond the fact of losing weight. So that's why I wanted to bring this out, because it's also about being healthy on the inside. So these things that we don't understand or know fully are impacting the health of our body. And that matters more than whatever weight we are, whatever we see on the outside, because I want your bodies to be healthy on the inside too. And one other quick topic I wanted to bring up, because someone asked this in my Facebook group. It's also called Healthy Beyond 40. I'll share that link down below too, so you guys can join in. She asked, is it good to do cardio every day? And the one thing we need to be careful about when it comes to cardio, and it could even be strength training, but it happens more with cardio, is that we're not stressing our bodies. I think we all have enough stress. I'm raising my hand here. So physical exercise can become a stress to our body. So when we're going from 0 to 60, as in we haven't been exercising and we go full force, that is going to be a stress to our body, and we don't need that. So we need to start slowly. So if you're wanting to do cardio, is look for those hungers, those cravings. Notice if it's stressing your body. If it is, back off and slowly work your way up. Also, obviously consider adding in strength training, or maybe trying to do some HIIT instead of just long, normal cardio. All right, one more question I forgot I had here is someone asked, they alternate between yoga, cardio, and strength training. They usually choose one each day, about 20 to 25 minutes, which I sort of think that 30 minutes or under is a good time frame just to develop consistency and not to stress your body. And so they asked if they should focus more on one. So I think as you're listening to this episode, I definitely favor strength training. We have to prioritize that. That could include yoga, depending what type you're doing. So if you're doing yoga for strength training, that's included there. There's also more yoga for stretching, for relaxation. That is great to do. It's just not going to count towards that strength training. So I do like alternating days of things I do between strength training or yoga, or I might go for a longer walk or a hike that's a little more cardio-like, not like super high cardio for me. But I think alternating stuff is a good idea. Just again, continue to pay attention to your body. How is your body reacting to this? What do you want to do? What does your body need? There's been different phases where I've done more yoga and less traditional strength training. That has been typically periods of when we've had more stress in our family. And then I might alternate between things are feeling pretty good. I might have a little bit more HIIT, some more strength training in there. So you can alternate over the long term. All right, guys. So remember to check the description down below. You can check out that 5-day exercise challenge. And if you're looking for support and accountability along your exercise journey, check out the link down below if you want to do some personal training with me. All right, friends. Hope you guys have a good day and keep on moving.